Have you ever spent hours studying, only to forget everything a few days later? You read the page. You highlight the important parts. You even feel like you understand it. But when it's time for the test, your mind goes blank. The frustrating part is that most students think they have a memory problem, but that's usually not true. The real problem is the way they're studying. And today I'm going to show you 5 simple techniques that can dramatically improve how much you remember. But make sure you stay until the final technique, because it's the one that completely changed how I learn. Let's begin. The first technique is called active recall. Most people study by reading the same information again and again. The problem? Recognition is not memory. Just because something looks familiar doesn't mean you'll remember it later. Instead, close the book. Look away from your notes and try to explain what you just learned from memory. If you can't explain it, you don't know it yet. This simple habit forces your brain to work. And the harder your brain works to retrieve information, the stronger the memory becomes. Now here's the second technique, spaced repetition. Most students cram everything into one long study session and then wonder why they forget it. Your brain wasn't designed to remember information after seeing it once. It remembers things it encounters repeatedly over time. Review the material after 1 day, then 3 days, then 1 week, then 2 weeks. Every review strengthens the memory, and eventually, it becomes difficult to forget. The third technique is something almost nobody does, teaching. When you teach an idea to someone else, your brain discovers what you truly understand and what you don't. That's why many students feel confident until they try explaining the topic. Suddenly the gaps appear. So pretend you're teaching a friend or even an empty room. If you can explain it simply, you've mastered it. Now let's talk about the fourth technique, association. Your brain loves connections. It remembers stories better than facts, images better than words, and emotions better than both. So instead of memorizing isolated information, connect it to something familiar. Turn facts into stories. Create ridiculous mental images. The stranger the image, the easier it becomes to remember. And finally, the most powerful technique of all, sleep. Most people underestimate this completely. They think memory is built while studying, but memory is actually strengthened while sleeping. When you sleep, your brain organizes information, stores important memories, and removes unnecessary noise. In other words, studying without enough sleep is like saving a file and then unplugging the computer before it finishes. So if you want to remember more, stop sacrificing sleep, because no memory technique can fully compensate for a tired brain. Remember these 5 principles: active recall, spaced repetition, teaching, association, and sleep. Use them consistently, and you'll remember more in less time. Not because you're smarter than everyone else, but because you're finally working with your brain